if you want to attract an amazing masculine man who will treat you wonderfully, who's a great partner, who you can depend on, have fun with, and build a life together, I encourage you to learn how to be respectful with men. And this, I know, is such a triggering thing for women to hear, but I simply mean with that to learn how to be a mature woman who can talk in a calm way, who can express herself very clearly and very well while staying in her soft feminine. And one communication tool that I teach my clients is called feminine communication. And it is a development, a further development of mine from nonviolent communication. So in nonviolent communication, you talk, you learn how to express your feelings and needs very clearly, because when we do that, the other person does not perceive our communication as attack anymore, because we directly see how we are feeling, how we are experiencing something, instead of saying you did something wrong, you're a horrible person, right? Because that's often how we communicate, right? And but then the tool I teach goes one step further, because it's not just important what language you use, but also the energy you are in while you are communicating. So I want to give you two examples so you see what I mean. Okay. So let's say husband comes home, or let's say, we talk about dating. You are dating someone and he comes, let's say you are about 5 months dating, and you want to go to the cinema, right? You want to see a movie, and he comes half an hour late. And so he comes and he's like, oh yeah, like, sorry, let's just go in. And you feel like irked, and you were like, what's happening? Like, you're not even going to say sorry. So unconscious everyday communication would be like, excuse me, you're not just going to go in. Like, what is that? Like, you think you can just come 30 minutes late and not even say anything? Like, so mean and disrespectful towards me. Like, I think you don't even care. Like, really? You're not even going to say anything? That's come on. Like, that's just childish, and then maybe he gets triggered and he says, don't make such a big deal of it. What is that? And then you say, I'm sorry. Like, are you serious? This is crazy. Like, you can go to the cinema alone. Like, I don't even care. And then you walk away, right? That could be like a typical scenario, how people communicate with each other. Okay. That, of course, is, as you can see already, super unhelpful, because the most likely outcome when we communicate like this is that the other person feels super triggered, feels attacked, feels like you make them this bad person who is so horrible, and he's just gonna attack you back and say no, that you are crazy and you're a drama queen and all that stuff, and then you have a huge fight. So in feminine communication, a situation like this, we would communicate like this. We would first think about which of our feelings and deeper needs are being triggered / unmet. So in this scenario, I would think that I feel hurt that he didn't sort of like acknowledge. I feel a bit sad that he didn't really consider me. I feel maybe also a bit worried because he came back like 30 minutes, which is unusual, and I didn't know what maybe something happened to him. And my needs that were not met in the situation is consideration, care, acknowledgement, being seen, and also security. Right. So again, these are all the things I think about, and then I want to communicate this, and I don't have to say all these things, but I want to really bring my feelings and my experience across, and I watch my energy. So I try to become super soft, and I try to become actually authentic, because the authentic me is actually the vulnerable aspects underneath. It's actually not this like, excuse me, you disrespect me. not like that, but what is actually going on? Like, why do you feel that way, right? And that is the vulnerable feelings I just mentioned. So I would communicate like this. I would be like, hey, I feel like a little bit, I don't feel so good now because I'm really confused. This hasn't really happened before, and I don't really know what to make of this. Um, could we maybe just like sit somewhere for like 5 minutes, and I would love to know, like, has something happened or did something go on, and check in with you how you're doing. Yeah, because I was a bit worried, and it sort of like makes me feel a bit anxious. I don't really know how to deal with this situation, and I would love to know what's going on. And before we continue with the evening, because I feel like this is important to talk about. I just want to know how you're doing, and just to see what's going on. Okay, so that was the feminine communication. As you also saw, what I did was I tried to share and be more vulnerable, because when you do it like this, the likelihood of him being like, oh yeah, honey, oh totally, we can do that, oh man, I'm sorry, I didn't want you to worry you, is like much higher. It's not a guarantee, because some men or people in general just don't react, well. They don't want to talk about these things or whatever, or they may be lacking empathy. But in general, the chance that he is going to react positive is much higher. And what I also did was I gave him space to just tell me before, because honestly, jumping to a conclusion that he doesn't care about you because he's 30 minutes late, when you think about it, is actually crazy. It's actually absolutely crazy, because you have no idea. Anything could have happened, right? He could have literally lost his job and cried in the toilet for 30 minutes, didn't want to tell you because you're only dating for 6 months, wanted to man up. That's why he's late, right? Like, I mean, you really don't know what's going on. Or, I don't know, you could have had a fight with someone, or you kind of ADHD and has no concept of time. I mean, you're just getting to know each other, right? So you have to leave a space for people to explain what's going on, and then do that not in an accusatory tone, like, you better tell me what's going on, right? Like, not like that, because he's not going to open up. Like, he's going to feel insecure, And that's a thing also, That was just like one little example, but you can apply this to so many examples. So when you are in this feminine communication, there's just more calmness, and there's actually more connection, because when you are in this space, men are gonna feel more safe. And as I said many times before, men are never gonna use that word. They're not gonna say, I feel safe now with you, because that's not masculine language, but they are. And always remember, many men have been, can we say, wounded by their mothers in a lot of ways through unconscious mothering, and they are afraid of women. And again, they're not going to say this, they're not going to show you, but that's the truth. I've seen it so many times. Deep fear of the feminine. So us using this feminine communication also makes them feel more safe. And then they open up more, right? Which is a common complaint that women have. Men don't open up. And I can tell you, as an expert, most men don't open up because they don't feel safe. Again, don't go to your date and tell them, I think you don't feel safe. Don't use this language, because men hate that, right? But just if you learn more feminine communication, you're gonna experience that men will open up more. And that's a really, really beautiful experience. And I hope that you make it. All right, enough talking of me. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you want to learn more, I do monthly free webinars on Meetup through the Conscious Relationship School. You can check it out below, and of course also my coaching programs. All right, have a wonderful time.